Hello and welcome to Thrive Within. I'm your host, Mark Bucksath, a life coach, educator, and someone who's passionate about helping you live your life more fully, honestly, and aligned with who you really are. This podcast is your space for real talk and focused coaching on things like confidence, purpose, boundaries, self-doubt, and personal growth. So whether you're on a walk, taking a break, or just giving your brain a moment to breathe, I am so glad you're here. Let's get into it. And today's episode is about something deeply needed and often neglected. Stillness. We live in a world that worships movement, accomplishment, productivity, but the soul doesn't thrive in constant motion. It thrives in space. So today we're reclaiming that space together and remembering that sometimes the most powerful thing that you can do is pause. So let's start by asking, when was the last time you were truly still? Not asleep, not zoning out, but just being. Stillness matters because it gives your nervous system a break. It offers clarity that busyness clouds, and it reminds you that you are not a machine. You don't have to earn rest. You are worthy of it simply because you exist. Stillness is your right, your birthright. So why do we avoid stillness? Well, sometimes it's fear. Fear of what might surface when you slow down. Sometimes it's conditioning. We've been taught that lazy equals rest. Sometimes it's habit. Always doing feels safer than simply being. But here's the truth. Avoiding stillness robs you of the wisdom that only quiet can bring. So let's reframe rest, not as a reward, but as a practice of power. In a culture that tells you to prove, produce, and perform, choosing stillness is revolutionary. Today's mindset shift is this: stillness isn't the opposite of growth. It is the soil it grows in. What if rest isn't weakness, but wisdom? What if space is where you hear your truest guidance? So there was a time in my life when stillness terrified me. I filled every hour. Every pause felt like a failure. And productivity had become my identity. And then one day I burned out. Fully, emotionally, physically, spiritually. And in that quiet that followed, something surprisingly happened. I heard myself again. Not the frantic self, but the deeper one. And that voice said, "You've been running from yourself." And that became the beginning of my return. So let's pause together right now. Wherever you are, just breathe. Let your body soften, let your shoulders fall, and take a slow breath in. Hold. And release. Now ask, what would it feel like to create a few minutes of stillness each day? You don't need a retreat. You just need a moment. And as you move through your day today, carry these questions with you. What am I afraid of will surface in the silence? Where could I create 5 minutes, just 5 minutes of quiet? And what part of me is tired and ready to be heard? And just listen. You don't have to rush the answers. Stillness always speaks. So let's talk about something called white space. In design, white space isn't wasted space. It gives everything else room to breathe. And your life needs that too. You don't have to fill every hour. Every day doesn't need to be a checklist. And you can build your schedule around what nourishes, not just what's urgent. White space is where creativity blooms, healing happens, and connection deepens. Here's something for you to try today. Find one moment to pause. No phone, no noise, just you. And maybe it's in the car before going inside, Or maybe it's at your desk with your eyes closed. Or maybe it's outside just staring at the sky. But let it be simple. Stillness isn't complicated. It's just rare. So thank you for choosing stillness with me today. On this episode of Thrive Within, I hope this space reminded you that you don't have to earn rest. You don't have to fill every gap. You get to breathe. And if this episode spoke to you, I'd be honored if you shared or left a kind review. And when you're ready to go deeper, my books and coaching are always here at guidedpathcoaching.crd.co. Until next time, breathe and trust the quiet.